A cold October rain hammered the windows of the city shelter as Daniel Carter stood in line, holding the hand of his 6-year-old son, Noah. He had only come to donate old winter coats after losing his wife to cancer a year earlier. Life had already stripped him of almost everything except his son, his tiny repair shop, and the determination to keep moving. Then he noticed a little girl sitting alone in the corner, hugging a worn-out backpack as if it were the only thing she had left in the world. She couldn't have been older than 8. While the other children laughed during story time, she remained silent, watching the door every few minutes, as though she still believed someone would come back for her. Daniel couldn't ignore her. "Who is she?" he quietly asked the shelter director. "Her name is Lily," the woman replied with a sigh. "Both parents passed away within months of each other. No relatives would take her. She's been here nearly a year." Daniel looked into Lily's frightened eyes and saw something painfully familiar. It was the same emptiness he had seen in Noah after his mother's funeral. As he prepared to leave, Noah tugged on his father's sleeve. "Dad, can she come home with us?" Daniel smiled sadly. "It isn't that simple." But that night, he couldn't sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw Lily sitting alone by the window. 3 months later, after endless paperwork, interviews, and financial checks, Lily Carter officially became part of their little family. Life wasn't easy. Daniel worked 16-hour days repairing machines while raising 2 children alone. Money was always short. Their apartment was tiny, their furniture mismatched, and birthdays were celebrated with homemade cakes instead of expensive gifts. Yet the house was filled with laughter. Daniel never treated Lily differently from Noah. Whenever she apologized for being another mouth to feed, Daniel would gently kneel beside her. "You are not charity," he'd say. "You're my daughter." Those 4 words healed wounds no medicine ever could. Years passed. Lily grew into a brilliant young woman with an extraordinary memory and an even stronger sense of justice. While Noah inherited Daniel's talent for engineering, Lily fell in love with books, debate, and law. Daniel's small repair shop slowly transformed into Carter Industrial Technologies. 1 loyal customer became 10. 10 became 100. Smart investments followed, and within 15 years, the struggling mechanic had built one of the country's fastest-growing manufacturing companies. Magazine covers called him a self-made billionaire. Daniel ignored them. He still ate breakfast with his children every morning. He still fixed broken appliances himself. He still kept Lily's first drawing framed in his office. After graduating at the top of her law school class, Lily declined offers from prestigious firms. "I'm coming home," she told Daniel. "You'll earn more somewhere else." "I already have everything I wanted," she smiled. A family worth protecting. Daniel hired her as corporate counsel. Some executives whispered that she had only received the position because she was his adopted daughter. Lily ignored every word. She simply worked harder. Then disaster struck. A rival corporation filed a massive lawsuit accusing Carter Industrial Technologies of patent theft, fraud, and corporate espionage. The media exploded overnight. Stock prices crashed. Banks threatened to freeze billions in financing. Investors panicked. Board members secretly discussed removing Daniel as CEO. For the first time in decades, he looked defeated. "I built this company honestly," he whispered one evening. "I know," Lily answered. "But knowing isn't enough." She looked directly into his eyes. "Then we'll prove it." The courtroom overflowed with reporters. The rival company's legal team consisted of famous attorneys known for destroying billion-dollar businesses. Many underestimated the young woman sitting beside Daniel. They assumed she was only there because of family connections. They were wrong. When Lily stood to begin her cross-examination, the courtroom fell silent. She had spent months studying every email, every contract, every engineering draft, and every financial record created over 15 years. Piece by piece, she dismantled the accusations. She exposed altered timestamps. She revealed forged digital signatures. She uncovered hidden payments made by the rival company's own executives to fabricate evidence. Then came the final blow. Lily presented security footage, forgotten backup servers, and testimony from a former employee who admitted he had been bribed to lie. Gasps echoed across the courtroom. The opposing lead attorney slowly removed his glasses. He already knew the case was over. Hours later, the judge returned with the decision. All claims against Carter Industrial Technologies are dismissed. He paused before continuing. Furthermore, this court finds overwhelming evidence that the plaintiff deliberately attempted to manipulate evidence and defraud this court. The rival company was ordered to pay enormous damages. Daniel's company survived. Its stock recovered within days. Its reputation became even stronger than before. Outside the courthouse, hundreds of employees gathered, cheering as Daniel stepped onto the stairs. Instead of speaking first, he turned toward Lily. His voice trembled. 15 years ago, people told me adopting a homeless little girl would ruin my future. He smiled through tears. They couldn't have been more wrong. Lily hugged him tightly. No, she whispered. 15 years ago, you didn't save me. Daniel looked confused. You gave me something even greater than a home. She smiled. You gave me someone worth fighting for. The cameras captured the embrace, but they couldn't capture the deeper truth. A billionaire hadn't been saved by money. A billion-dollar empire hadn't been rescued by power. It had been saved by one act of kindness made years earlier, when a struggling single father looked at a lonely little girl and chose love over fear. Sometimes the greatest investment isn't in a business. It's in a human heart. The victory in court should have marked the happiest day in Carter Industrial Technologies history. Instead, it uncovered a betrayal no one had imagined. 3 days after the trial, Daniel walked through the headquarters with Lily beside him. Employees applauded as they passed, grateful that their jobs had been saved. Flowers filled the lobby, reporters waited outside, and congratulatory messages arrived from around the world. But Lily wasn't celebrating. Something about the lawsuit still bothered her. The evidence was too organized, she quietly told Daniel inside his office. Someone inside the company helped them. Daniel frowned. The judge ruled in our favor. I know. But they knew confidential details that never left this building. Daniel wanted to believe the nightmare was over, yet he trusted Lily's instincts more than anyone's. Then find the truth. For the next several weeks, Lily worked late every night. She reviewed security records, internal emails, and financial transfers. While everyone else enjoyed the company's recovery, she searched for the missing piece. Then she found it. A senior executive named Victor Reynolds had secretly accepted millions of dollars from the rival corporation. In exchange, he leaked confidential documents and manipulated internal reports, hoping the lawsuit would destroy Carter Industrial Technologies. If the company collapsed, Victor had already signed a contract promising him a top executive position with the rival firm. Lily stared at the evidence in disbelief. Victor had worked beside Daniel for almost 20 years. Daniel had attended his children's birthdays. He had trusted him like family. That afternoon, Lily entered Daniel's office carrying a thick folder. You need to see this. Daniel flipped through the documents. With every page, his face grew paler. Bank records. Encrypted messages. Security footage. Everything pointed to one painful truth. Victor had betrayed him. Daniel slowly closed the folder. I treated him like a brother. Lily placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. And that's exactly why betrayal hurts. The emergency board meeting began an hour later. Every director filled the conference room. Victor sat confidently at the end of the table, believing no one suspected him. Daniel remained unusually calm. "Lily," he said softly, "would you present your findings?" She connected her laptop to the large screen. The room became silent. Slide after slide revealed the hidden payments. Then came the private emails. Finally, security footage showed Victor copying confidential files after midnight and transferring them onto an external drive. Victor's confidence vanished instantly. "This is a misunderstanding," he shouted. Lily looked directly at him. "No." She clicked one final file. An audio recording filled the room. Victor's own voice promised the rival company that he would help destroy Carter Industrial Technologies from the inside. No one spoke. Several board members lowered their heads in disbelief. Security officers entered moments later. Victor stood, glaring at Daniel. "I helped build this company." Daniel answered quietly. "So did hundreds of honest employees." Victor pointed at Lily. "This girl ruined everything." Daniel slowly stood. "No." His voice remained calm, but every word carried enormous weight. "My daughter saved everything." Security escorted Victor from the room. As the doors closed behind him, Daniel looked around the table. This company wasn't built on machines. He paused. It was built on trust. The directors nodded. For the first time, they truly understood why Daniel had always called Lily his greatest blessing. Months later, Carter Industrial Technologies reached record profits. Investors returned with greater confidence than ever before. Employees no longer whispered that Lily had been hired because she was adopted. Now they proudly introduced her as the woman who had saved the company twice. On the anniversary of Lily's adoption, Daniel invited every employee to a small celebration at the company headquarters. Instead of giving a speech about business success, he held up an old photograph. It showed a frightened little girl clutching a faded backpack beside a tired single father. "This," Daniel said with a smile, "was the best decision I ever made." Many employees wiped away tears. Lily stepped beside him. "I spent years believing he rescued me." She looked toward Daniel. "But I finally understand the truth." Everyone listened. "A family doesn't rescue one person." She smiled through happy tears. "They rescue each other." The room erupted into applause. Daniel hugged his daughter just as tightly as he had 15 years earlier. Neither of them had known, on that rainy afternoon in the shelter, what the future would hold. They only knew one thing. Love had opened a single door. Everything else, family, success, justice, and a billion-dollar empire, had walked through it together.